But the main one I want to talk about, the Imagination Belt. Look at this thing. Look at it. Gaze upon it. I'm not gonna play the video because I don't want to get. I had the video open and I was like, I don't want it. Oh yeah, no, Dan Bandai is an ass. So I have this pre-ordered, and so my wife collects a lot of Disney stuff. She has a great collection. Like, if you think my collection's good, her collection is insane. And Rosalie, exactly, dude, a lot cheaper than I thought. Obviously, it's $365 on to collectibles. They you get free shipping, so I mean that's always good. It is $300. Technically, retail from Japan directly, it's $300. This thing. So my wife collects Disney stuff. I showed her the driver back when it was announced. I have the Ugly Mecha pre-ordered. Anyone who saw that video I did months ago, I pre-ordered the Ugly Disney Mecha. I also pre-ordered the Ugly Shin Universe Mecha as well. But this, I like Disney as well. My issue, I love the belt. Love it. Love it. Everything about it, just so good. Like, look at like the screen, like the video really sold me on it. And then this is my favorite part, the little film strip right here that moves with the LED lights. It's perfect. Like, it's so good. But why did they pick the people that I get Mickey and Minnie, okay? And I know you got to get different properties like Pixar and this and that. So Woody makes sense. I personally would have Buzz Lightyear. Iron Man, I get you got to do Marvel, but like Iron Man, like, I mean, I get it. First, the movie that really kickstarted the MCU. From a Marvel standpoint, honestly, I could have seen, well, I don't know if they can get away with Hulk because of the whole Universal or whatever deal. But I mean, I would have done, I don't know. I guess think about it. Maybe I would have done like Spider-Man. It's a missed opportunity for Spider-Man because we could have had Toei Spider-Man. Yeah, Goofy Key, exactly. Like, I keep making the joke constantly. Kamen Rider Yuck is going to be a thing. Or Kamen Rider Gosh. I don't know. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to call him. But then we also have Simba. Okay, I'm cool with Simba. Simba's cool. Sony has the rights to Spider-Man from a film standpoint. They don't own Spider-Man from a comic standpoint. They just have the licensing for the film. That's it. That's all Sony has. So they actually can't, like, Sony has no hand in the pot for anything outside of the film and video games. So technically they could do Spider-Man. Grogu, I get it. They have to do something from Star Wars, but it's like, I get it. Baby Yoda, like, dude, Baby Yoda is like one of the top selling Star Wars related characters of the last like decade. I think honestly, if you're going Star Wars, like, man, you could have done Chewbacca, you could have done Luke. I mean, but I get, like, listen, kids aren't buying this for this price. Baby Yoda, yes, is popular with a niche adult fan base, but that's more popular to kids. There's the plushies, the robot, the little AI one that you could talk to. Really interesting going with Tiana, as the people are driving my honk on the horn, from Princess and the Frog. Man, you know what? This section of the video is really going to prove like my freaking knowledge of Disney, and that, like, low key, I know a lot of Disney shit, like, because I've seen every Disney movie ever, and that's not even a joke. So picking Tiana from Princess Frog, nice. I think it's cool because Tiana doesn't really get included in a lot of stuff. Snow White makes sense. For the longest time, Snow White was one of the highest, like, praised animated films. I honestly would have went, I would have went Sleeping Beauty, honestly. Okay. Out of all the Disney animated films, Sleeping Beauty is peak. Okay. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It is. And this is telling for me. Okay. So there's a whole scene. You know, she's in a castle, Maleficent's there, about to turn into the dragon. You got Prince Charming. There's all these thorns that are like blocking him. He's got his sword and a shield. The fairy godmothers are literally freaking casting buffs on him the whole time. His sword, his shield, they're getting more powerful. He's chopping through the briar patches and all these pricker and thorn bushes. Like, homie was going in, and you know, he basically had 3 support characters buffing him. He had scholars from Final Fantasy 14 buffing him like crazy for defense buffs, crit chance, armor piercing, and he was just chopping through. And that is still one of my favorite Disney scenes. I've watched it so many times. The movie itself, mid. That part, boom, done. Kitten, what are you doing? You're not going to get the birds. I'm not opening the door for you to go to attack birds. Don't worry, Justin. I'll get the Frozen. Moana, dude, Moana's good. My issue with Moana is that stupid song The Rock sang gets stuck in my head. The one where he's like, the thank you song or whatever. Moana was a good film. I watched it once or twice. But the song will get in my head. And my wife knows this. And she's not home. She's at work. She will literally purposely play that song because she knows it's going to get stuck in my head. And then anytime we used to go to the Disney store or downtown Disney, that song would start playing. And next thing you know, in my freaking head. And it gets stuck. Yes, you're welcome. Or it gets stuck in my head and it never goes away for at least a day or two. I hate it. But Moana's an interesting choice. Strictly from the standpoint of like a more modern Disney film. I know it was really popular. But I would have never thought they would have picked that. And then lastly, we have Elsa from Frozen. Never seen Frozen. No, I never seen Frozen 2. I saw the first one because like everyone's like hyping it up, and me and the homies were like, yeah, let's just check this out. And I've seen it also. My wife was watching it, and she likes the person who does the singing, Menzel or whatever, Menzel. And she's seen her live from like a Broadway performance and this and that. It's intriguing. I knew Frozen makes sense for them to pick that. It was one of the highest grossing animated films for a while there. And obviously the Frozen merch is like, anytime I go toy hunting, I still see Frozen merch everywhere. Sometimes I see it, like a lot of it, you know, bought. Crazy Orb and Mulan. Mulan would have been a good key. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot. Like let me go check on my kitten and see what she's freaking doing. All right. Kitten is done. Oh. All right, really, before I go into my rant of what other keys I would have included. How many key sets do you think they'll put out after this? Dude, I don't know. I don't even know if they would, honestly. Like, at first, I thought when everything was like leaked and like kind of talked about, I just assumed this was going to be a cheap cash grab. Seeing the video of it, the driver itself, and everything else, I was like, dude, this is quality. Like, I want this. Graph with the important question. Lilo and Stitch key. Definitely. 100%. I agree. There should be a Lilo and Stitch key. There's so many keys. Like, you go down the list of not even the more like newer stuff of the last like 20 years. You go classics, Pinocchio. Like, that's a no-brainer. And I get they have to do different generations and different eras. But and let's face it, the core group is also in the Mecca, because you got Goofy, you got Donald, you got Daisy, you got Minnie, you got Mickey, you got Pluto. So I don't know. All right, Rosie, this is where I was actually going. Who knows how much they have programmed in there? And we talked about this last night on Tokutonic Shift. Who's going to possibly waste almost $400 hacking this thing and possibly breaking it? I'm not hacking mine to see what's in there. That's not happening. But there's so many missed opportunities. Like I said, yes, Woody makes sense, but I would have had Buzz Lightyear. I would have had like show pack, like movie pack. So okay, here's your Toy Story pack. You got Buzz, you got Woody, you got the weird Spork from the newer one, and Slinky Dog. Slinky Dog because Jim Varney, God rest his soul, aka Ernest P. World, was a phenomenal actor. And it's just, there's so many like ones. Like I said, you could do even Cinderella. Cinderella is one of the most recognizable Disney movies. And you even have Sleeping Beauty. You have the Aladdin. Oh, a no Aladdin key. That is a tragedy. Even if they didn't pick Aladdin or Jasmine, they could have picked Genie. You know, like there's so many, and it's just very confused. Like, all right, so they might make a second driver and add more keys. I made the joke last night. We get the tertiary rider or an evil rider, and it's just villain keys. So you'd have like Scar, Maleficent. You would have the weird teddy bear from Toy Story. You would have Darth Vader or freaking Darth Maul. Like that, like if this, but it's the Disney 100th anniversary, so I feel like they're really keeping this like limited to that time frame. I don't think we would get more outside of, because when you think about it, the mecha obviously Super Sentai inspired, the belt Kamen Rider inspired. Does Bandai care enough to do something Disney Ultraman related? Like, I wouldn't mind some sort of Ultraman inspired like beta capsule that's Disney themed, honestly. Or Jar Jar Binks key. You know what? I'm for it, honestly. Screw it. That'd be cool. Jar Jar Binks didn't deserve all the hate. I remember seeing episode 1 in theaters when I was like, I don't know, 13, 12 or 13. I didn't hate the movie because I was a kid. But yeah, there's so many Disney options. And I wish I was in that boardroom meeting or the R&D division or this, that, when they're like sitting there like, okay, what can we do for keys? Like, I know. Elsa, smart. That makes sense. Simba, yes. Everyone loves the Lion King. Hakuna Matata, motherfuckers. Like, makes sense. But the ones they picked, also, I can't argue against them either. Because, like I said, Tiana, Princess of the Frog, underrated, underappreciated. No one talks about that film. Okay? Like, that was a really good film. So, like, and Moana, that makes sense. Like, the only ones I could argue against, honestly, I could argue against Iron Man. I could. And I could technically argue against Woody for it to be Buzz Lightyear instead, because realistically, who is the actual main character of the first one? Because it's kind of both, you know. No one can say anything like that. Mickey and Minnie shouldn't be included, obviously. But it's like, man, this is like, and I even show their little like whatever forms. Like, I don't even know what the hell this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be like them, like as like humans, like civilian forms. Like, they're not even rider suits. Also, the Elsa drip is kind of that's drippy right there. That is nice. And then Mickey, obviously, that's Sora 100%. Just, I mean, look at the boot, the shoes, the shorts. That is Moana. I mean, and the Snow White one's pretty cool. I do like the Snow White design. The Grogu one, not so much. That they kind of, I don't know. And then the Iron Man one, just, I mean, you could paint that black and recolor it black and blue, and it could also be almost like a Desire Grand Prix type get up. Simba makes sense. Woody, I mean, they're cool, but like, no, okay. Graph, it's not a hot take, okay? except for Toy Story 4, because that was a trash movie. Woody has always been better than Buzz. I'm just throwing it out there. Except for the one scene when they accidentally switched Buzz to Spanish, and I thought that was genius from like entertaining. Like that was great. I like Disney. I should start a Disney YouTube channel. Honestly, I really should. But yeah, final thoughts on the Disney Imagination Belt. We'll go back to the delicious photo. Yeah, I like it, and this is one of the ones where it's like this was a no-brainer. Like I already had it set in my mind, and we talked about it on Toku Tonic Shift weeks ago when it was first leaked and this and that. I flat out said it does not matter what the price is, I would get this because it is that good. I like this a lot. So this is definitely an instant purchase for me. Like there's no way I wouldn't get this. There's no situation where I would be like, oh, it's 365. I don't want it now. It's like, no, I had my mind made up. And I even said I would pay up to, I wouldn't go above $550 for it. That was my breaking point for the price. So the fact that it's basically over $200 cheaper than what my limit was, and I had already started planning to buy it. Now I'm like, oh, cool. I have $200 left over to go buy something else. Gachard cards it is, because I'm an idiot. But that is it for the Imagination Belt. What do you guys, how are we feeling about this? I've seen a lot of comments where price point, this, that, and a lot of us discuss. I want to say this. I'm really happy y'all were discussing Disney with me, because I didn't, when I was planning out the stuff I was going to talk about, I was like, do I go deep into like me talking about Disney stuff? Because like there is no, outside of this belt, there is no real Disney to Toku like rabbit hole fully. Hey there. Thank you for watching this video as I hit my microphone. That's not planned. This video was just a brief section from my live stream called the Tokusatsu Hangover, which is live every Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully subscribe to the channel and, you know, come by and check it out live and get in on the conversation in real time while we discuss the latest toy announcements, things that are up for pre-order, our thoughts on all this stuff, especially with how much Toku merch is now being just released constantly. And sometimes I build model kits, Sotos, mini plaza, you name it. I built this King Osier, various stages of it over a course of a couple weeks on the stream. And if you haven't already, my wave 2 of my merch at onlyhenchins.com has dropped. We got stuff for Blade fans, Build fans. You like Kamen Rider Buffa? There's Kamen Rider Buffa in there as well. But I thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in chat in one of the live streams. So, but regardless, I thank you for watching,